Hey guys, it's Desolate. Today we're just gonna go over some Murph facts about, a few animatronics that some people may know or might have just completely forgotten about over the years, but let's just get straight into it.
Always come back.
Okay, so starting with Springtrap. Everyone knows the basic lore by now. William Afton runs into a safe room, gets cornered by some kids, puts on a spring bodysuit to scare them off, and the roof leaks and the spring locks fell. He gets crushed and he rots there for 30 years until Fazbear Frights opens up, and that's FNAF 101. But a detail a lot of people totally forget or just don't think about the implications of is exactly why the audio lures work on him in FNAF 3. When you play Balloon Boy's voice in another room, he turns around and walks towards it. Now, think about this logically for a second. William Afton is a grown man, not just any grown man, but a literal genius robotic engineer who built these suits. He knows it's a recording, he knows he's trying to hunt the night guard, so why does this stupid laugh trick work on him every single time? The answer is actually hidden in the training tapes Phone Guy leaves you. Phone Guy mentions that the spring lock suits are explicitly programmed to walk towards the areas with the most noise to ensure they're always entertaining the biggest crowd of customers.
The animatronics are set to turn and walk towards sound cues. This is an easy and hands-free approach to making sure the animatronics stay where the children are for maximum entertainment/crowd-pleasing value.
William Afton's mind is trapped inside of the suit, but his body's literally fused with the animatronic endoskeleton. The animatronic programming physically forces his body to follow the noise. He has zero control over his own legs. He's completely aware that he's being tricked by the night guard. He knows it's a fake audio cue, but the robotic half of him overrides his brain and forces him to walk away from you. If you read the novel trilogy, specifically The Silver Eyes, Scott goes into horrific detail about how spring lock failures work. The metal parts snap into your vocal cords, your lungs, and your joints. Afton didn't just die in there, he became part of the circuitry. So for 30 years, he was trapped in a wall, unable to move, and when he finally gets out, he still isn't in control. He is a passenger in his own rotting corpse, being bossed around by a line of code he probably wrote himself years ago. It's completely ironic and horrifying if you really sit down and think about it. Moving on to Fredbear, the animatronic that basically started the entire timeline with the Bite of 83. For years, literally from 2015 until 2018, the fandom was going crazy trying to figure out what the original physical Fredbear looked like. We only ever saw him in FNAF 4 minigame pixel art, so you wouldn't really get much, and that was just a sprite with a yellow bear and a purple hat with a bow tie and a massively unhinged jaw. People were making insane SFM models, drawing fan art, arguing on Reddit every single day about his proportions. Was he fat? Was he Nightmare Fredbear without the teeth? We didn't really know, but Scott finally revealed his canon model in Ultimate Custom Night, but the way you get him to spawn is so incredibly specific that a lot of casual players never even saw it. You have to set Golden Freddy to exactly level 1. You have to collect Faz coins to buy the death coin from the prize counter and then use it on Golden Freddy when he appears in your office. And when Fredbear finally jump scares you, it's literally just a split second. When people took that frame and brightened it up, the weirdest part was revealed. He's literally just FNAF 1 Golden Freddy. He's slightly wider, maybe a bit chunkier, and he's wearing the purple hat and a bow tie instead of the black ones. This one single image created a massive, extremely toxic debate in the community. Half the community thought Scott was being lazy, like he just took the FNAF 1 model, he shifted it and called it a day, but the other half realized it's a huge lore implication here. If Fredbear looks exactly like Golden Freddy, it pretty much confirms they're the exact same physical suit. For a long time, people thought Golden Freddy was just a ghost, a pure hallucination of a suit that didn't exist. But no, Golden Freddy is just Fredbear after years of rotting and losing his purple accessories. But then it gets even more complicated because Golden Freddy can teleport and turn into a giant floating head. So is the suit physical or is it a projection made by Cassidy and the crying child? Scott is giving us Fredbear models that was supposed to solve a mystery, but it honestly just made Golden Freddy's timeline 100 times more confusing than it needed to be. Okay, let's talk about Circus Baby. When Sister Location dropped, it completely changed the vibe of FNAF. It went from a ghost story to a weird sci-fi horror. And Baby is the center of it all. She feels like this creepy, manipulative little girl animatronic. She talks to you through the vents in this soft voice. She clearly has the soul of a child. And in her 8-bit minigame, she looks somewhat normal sized compared to Elizabeth. But if you actually go into the Sister Location game files and look at the blueprint Scott drew up for the Funtime animatronics, her scale makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Circus Baby is 7 feet 2 inches tall and she weighs 600 pounds. Just visualize that for a second. She's literally taller than Shaquille O'Neal. She weighs as much as an adult grizzly bear, and she's supposed to be performing for toddlers in a brightly lit pizza place. When you realize how huge she actually is, the entire concept of what William Afton built her to do starts to fall apart logically. The blueprints say she has an internal ice cream dispenser, a helium tank at her fingertips, and an intentional claw mechanism built into her stomach to snatch children. She's designed to count the number of kids in a room, and when there's only one child left, the claw shoots out, grabs them, and pulls them into her stomach cavity to kill them. That's how Elizabeth died, but how do you secretly grab a kid when you're 7 feet tall and 600 pounds? You look like a metal fridge. The sheer mechanical noise of her stomach opening would be deafening. The amount of blood would be everywhere. Yet the lore says Elizabeth was just gone. The other kids didn't notice. It's one of those weird FNAF facts where the lore sounds terrifying on paper, but when you look at it at the physical dimensions of the character, it's physically impossible. Baby isn't a stealthy assassin, she's basically a walking tank.
Before you is an animatronic found in the back alley. We are unsure of its origins. It is your job to complete the maintenance checklist before claiming it as salvage. Or, if you choose to, you can throw it back into the alley where you found it and forfeit payment. Please make your choice now.
Next up, let's look at the Rockstar animatronics from FNAF 6, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. When you play the Tycoon part of the game, you buy these guys from the Smiles and Service catalog. They seem totally normal, they just look like cheap plastic knockoffs to fill out your fake pizzeria with to get your ratings up. They don't even try and attack you with the nice segments. But if you look closely at their designs, there's a massive amount of lore implying that Henry Emily, William Afton's old business partner, actually built them specifically for this trap. Think about their design. Rockstar Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy all have this very specific 5-point star on their chest. Where else do we see that exact star pattern? Absolute biggest piece of evidence is Lefty. Lefty is officially classified as a Rockstar animatronic. They share the exact same endoskeleton parts, the same glossy plastic body type, the same star on their chest, but we know for a fact from hidden paragraph 4 blueprints that Henry built Lefty with one specific purpose: to track down, capture, and hide the puppet inside his own body. Lefty stands for Lure, Incapacitate, Fuse, Transport, and Extract. If Henry built Lefty and Lefty is a Rockstar model, that means Henry designed all the Rockstars. They aren't just cheap catalog items that Fazbear Entertainment threw together. They're Henry's final creations. He built them to populate his fake pizzeria, to make the trap look convincing enough to lure in Scrap Baby, Molten Freddy, and Springtrap. The Rockstars are basically the final generation of the traditional animatronics, built by the original creator just to watch his entire legacy burn to the ground. We have to talk about Glamrock Freddy from Security Breach. Now, I know this isn't technically a confirmed fact, but the theory that Michael Afton possesses Glamrock Freddy is way too good not to bring it up. And there are so many weird facts supporting it that it feels intentional by Steelwool. Let's look at the evidence because it is crazy. Throughout the whole game, Freddy protects Gregory. He hides him inside of his chest cavity. He calls him a superstar. He constantly worries about his safety. He acts almost exactly like an older brother trying to protect his younger brother. This directly parallels Michael Afton's massive guilt over getting his own little brother, the crying child, killed in the bite of 83. Gregory even looks exactly like the crying child with the brown hair and the striped shirt. But it goes even deeper than that. The biggest clue happens when you go down in the sinkhole to Burntrap's boss fight. The ruins of the FNAF 6 pizzeria are burned under the Pizzaplex. As you walk down there, Freddy starts glitching out as he gives a super cryptic speech. He literally says,
"I know what this is. I have been here before. She brought me here. I found myself for the first time when I cleared the path. I did not
Who else has been down in the FNAF 6 location? Michael Afton. Michael was the night guard who gathered all the salvaged animatronics. Michael was the one who cleared the path. Michael was the one who chose to stay in the burning building to end his father's curse. Somehow, Michael's soul, his remnant, survived the fire, and when Fazbear Entertainment built the Pizzaplex over the ruins, his soul attached to the nearest animatronic, which happened to be Glamrock Freddy. It explains why Freddy is the only robot in the entire building who isn't corrupted by the glitch trap virus. Michael's soul is actively fighting off his dad's virus. It just makes so much narrative sense. Michael spent his whole adult life trying to undo his father's mess, and now he's doing it one last time, protecting a kid who looks just like the brother he lost. Again, it's not 100% confirmed by Scott, but honestly, it's the best and most emotional theory to come out of the modern FNAF era. Alright, let's switch it up for a second. Here are 20 rapid fire facts about some of the most niche characters on the series. Let's go. Shadow Bunny's official name in the files is RWQFSFASXC. Literally just a random keyboard smash. Paper Buddy, that weird balloon boy played in the FNAF 2 game, actually has an official copyright name, which is just Paper Buddy. There's a little coffee pot animatronic hidden in FNAF 3, a reference to Scott's old game, The Desolate Hope. In Sister Location, Yeno is the only animatronic that doesn't attack you directly. He just drains your oxygen. Mr. Hug's the only piece of trash gang to his own video game, which Toy Freddy rages at in UCN. People used to call her Balloon Girl, but JJ has a rare chance to hide under your desk in FNAF 2 and literally does nothing to you. L-Ship is just a massive reference to Chipper and Son's Lumber Co., the game that inspired FNAF. And UCN Plus 3D model is mirrored. The holes on his head are completely fair from FNAF 4. The FNAF 4 loading screen for Boss jokingly blinks in for the bite of 87. Endo 1 is the only FNAF character whose loading screen implies that he's sad and wants to be a real character. Electrobab is a yellow-eyed bitty variant that only exists in Sister Location custom light with 0 lore. If FNAF 4 Halloween update, Nightmare Mangle's static is so loud that it actually blocks you from hearing the breathing sounds that you need to survive. Out of all FNAF 3 Phantoms, Phantom Mangle is the only one completely hidden from the extras menu. Old Man Consequences is an obscure red crocodile from FNAF World, somehow made it all the way into security breach as an old arcade machine. Lobby Thin starts a virus, they debuted as a friendly shopkeeper in FNAF World. Shadow Freddy in FNAF 2 isn't a unique model, he's just a litter go Freddy tinted dark purple. And UCN Music Man doesn't have an animated jump scare, he just violently flashes the symbols at you. Tingle is a FNAF World exclusive enemy that is just Tingle, Recall, and neon green and purple. In FNAF 6, Lemon actually has hidden voice lines that are just distorted circus noises. And finally, White Rabbit is a FNAF World enemy that is just completely bleached white version of Shadow Bonnie. Okay, well, I hope you heard everything I just said. I'm way out of breath. But now, back to our last fact. Let's talk about Toy Chica. In FNAF 2, she's just the creepy redesign that takes her beak off when she leaves the stage. And for years, that was her whole gimmick. Scott even teased the missing beak back in FNAF 4 days. But Toy Chica's actual craziest lore drop didn't happen until Ultimate Custom Night with those weird anime cutscenes called Toy Chica the High School Years. When you first watch them, they just seem like a massive joke. It's Toy Chica acting like a crazy yandere anime girl obsessing over different animatronics in her school and talking about how she's gonna lure them away and take a piece of them. But if you actually listen to what she says, it is literally the darkest lore drop in the entire game. Toy Chica isn't just an anime character here, she's a direct one-to-one parallel representing William Afton's serial killer methods. She targets exactly 6 characters in the cutscene, which lines up with Afton's 6 main victims, but the terrifying part is how she lures them. In one episode, she says she's gonna tell a character that their dog is actually alive, and she has him. This is exactly how William Afton lured Susie, the girl who possesses the original Chica in the Fruity Maze minigame. He told her that her dead dog was still alive and to go get her in the back room. In another episode, she talks about breaking into someone's house through their window, which directly mirrors the Midnight Motorist minigame, where Afton lures a kid out of their bedroom window. Scott basically used a brightly colored, ridiculous high school anime parody to explicitly confirm how William Afton manipulated and kidnapped his victims. Toy Chica is literally role-playing as the purple guy, and almost everyone just laughed it off as a weird meme when the game came out. But yeah, that's officially it for this one. FNAF lore is literally a massive rabbit hole, and it's crazy how Scott hides darkest lore in the most ridiculous places. I mean, if you like it, hit subscribe, and if you didn't like it, don't, but I hope you like it. If you want me to do more videos like this, then just let me know in the comments. I've been Desolate. Peace.